Hello and thank you for choosing another day to stay with me. This today is Lonely Man Studios. I know I've been out for a little bit. I decided to do something a little bit slower. I know that I need to go back and still finish Fairy Fencer F and the Rogue Galaxy walkthrough, and I will when I do have the time. Recently work has been scheduling me for 60 hours a week, each week. So getting time in between to do things by myself isn't often. And I've been playing around with some new software and editing for games and stuff, and it's just been, yeah, a lot of work, not a lot of time. So today I'm going to do something a little bit slower, do a chapter-based game, see how this does, kind of like what I did with No One But You, but this one is all about heroes. I can still get my RPG, which I love RPGs, and yeah, go from here. So anyway, this is Hero Rise, the Prodigy. If you can't already read it, you probably have finished this by now if you haven't been listening. And we're going to go on Part 1, Legend Has It, Chapter 1, Homeward Bound. Give me a second here while I can fix my video. There we are. And let's go. A helicopter blade slices through the air inches away from your face, filling your nostrils with the smell of burning metal. You don't have to process this, however, as a ball of flame unfurls in your direction. You leap onto a neighborhood rooftop and tumble around a smoldering chunk of engine. Today was supposed to be your day off, but when you saw a news chopper careening out of control above the city, you couldn't just stand by like a common pedestrian. As you pull clear of the wreckage, you see the ejected pilot floats high above the rooftops from a parachute, one that is crawling with licks of flame. It won't be long before the parachute burns through and pilot drops hundreds of stories to his death. So how are you going to save him? Remove the cables and use them as a lasso to... What? Use the zip cord from your wrist holster to reel in the pilot. Forget the pilot, you'll be able to steer. Huh. Should I be mean? Because that seems like the more sensible. Like, he does have a parachute, he can steer away. And then, I don't know. Does it say that as you pull... it doesn't say, is it busy? Falling from the busy streets below. Yeah. So, I have to. You spin around and see the severed tail of the helicopter teetering on the ledge. You rush back across the roof to stop it from falling completely, forgetting about the chunk of fuel-soaked engine that you dodged before. As you approach the helicopter tail, an explosion rocks the engine. A blast of heat hits you full force, searing the skin from your bones. Did I just die? As your vision fades to black, you remove the virtual reality helmet and your 3D gaming experience. You blink several times to adjust the sunlight in the room, which pours in through sleek glass windows. Then you look across the conference table at a button-up executive eyeing you. So what do you think? They really ramped up the graphics, right? She blurts out. Oh, don't spoil the surprise. Take the game home for your full report. You can collect your advance from the front desk on your way out. Thanks as always. You're a virtuous reality best game tester. But this executive still doesn't know your name. You force a smile and remember that you are I am a guy. So a guy named Declan, Gino, Steven, Shane. Shane. I'd rather create my own first name. My first name is Habadibi. Habadibi. Right, Habadibi. Always a pleasure. The executive then strides out the door, no doubt on her way to more important meetings, so you walk towards the front desk alone, thinking that you'd much rather be out there saving real hovercraft crashes than testing fake ones. But hey, at least it pays the bills. Though not very well, you think as you accept the deposit for $100 at the front desk. Adding this amount to your bank account brings you to a grand total of $2,100. Not exactly rolling in dough, are you? It's more than I got in my account. Shit. You push all thoughts of money from your mind as you exit in the bustling streets of Millennia City. Nestled on America's west coast, Los Angeles, San Francisco Millennia City is the shiny beacon of 22nd century progress, not to mention the city you've called home for your entire life. You step into the crowd next to a woman whose skin is covered in fishy scales, each one reflecting a different color. You suppose this might surprise some people, but not you, NYC is finance, LA is entertainment, and DC is politics. But MC has heroes. It's the powered capital of the country. A fact you're reminded of as a sonic boom pulses through the air. You look up to see two blondes rocketing across the sky, a cloud of smoke left in their wake. You sigh, knowing that you belong up there with the legends instead of down here with the masses. These days, 1 out of every 3 people is born with powered abilities, and pretty much every one of them wants to be a hero. Especially now that powered heroes have eclipsed movie stars and music icons to set the standard for A-list celebrities. You'd also love to be flying home right now, considering that you have the power to fly. However, after one too many gruesome mid-air collisions, the Department for the Regulation of Powered Resources designated the skies for government-licensed travelers only. So flying is definitely off limits for you. But do you let that stop you? Well, if I'm flying, I might not meet anyone interesting, so I think I'm going to walk it. Breaking the law will not only hinder your heroic rise later, so you'll know that you'll have to be patient, extremely patient, considering that if you're a big-time hero, you could be flying home in a fraction of time. As you walk down to the Metroway platform, you pay for the ticket by rolling up your sleeve and accessing your ME chip, a bit of personal tablet technology embedded in the underside of your wrist. Not too long ago, you used paper slips to pay for things, a little plastic device for phones, but that was all before communication, identification, entertainment, and banking functions became standard, and ME chips. Each ME chip comes fully customizable with robotics personality programming that adapts to your habits and desires. There are 3 standard templates available for the robotic personality, so you decide to go with the polite butler, sassy diva, supportive caretaker. Sassy. My name is Habadibi. I'm going to be a sassy motherfucker. You then decide to name your ME chip Diva. Hallelujah. 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 Create your own name. Ju. Your ticket is paid for, sugar. Me chip Ju says inside your head, sounding snappy. All ME chips functions are connected directly to your senses, so Ju floats in front of your eyes thanks to holographic imaging wired to your retinas. Only you are able to see ME chip Ju, who appears as a drag queen wearing roller skates. I transferred $2 from your account, so you best enjoy the ride, okay? Just says before fading away. Waiting on the platform, you spot an old-fashioned newsstand and decide to reward your flying restraint with gossip enzyme. Usually you try to get your hero news from more credible sources, but you secretly love the trashy magazines. So you skim the screen that runs across the newsstand, looking over the digital covers displayed. You then weigh your ME chip, aiming to purchase the Dirt Rag. Specializing in the comings and goings of famous powered villains, most of the article in the Dirt Rag are pure fiction. It does have some credible leads for aspiring heroes like yourself. 30 minutes later, you finally emerge from the metro in your neighborhood, MC Eastern Fringes, which consists mostly of public housing projects, pawn shops, and liquor marts. That sounds like somewhere else I know. Despite its lack of charm, the Fringes are still home, and you start to relax as you approach your apartment building. A loud crunch of glass snaps your senses to attention. Half a block up, you spot a body that has been thrown through the windshield of a car. A teenage boy with writhing snakes coiled around his outstretched hands stand on the sidewalk nearby. Before you can blink, the body in the windshield leaps into the sky. It's another teenage boy whose woolly knees bend backwards like a goat's. Slugger, you curse to yourself. Another animal gang fight. The Eastern Fringes are home to a larger portion of the animalistic powered population, widely known to have the most interspecies tension. There's an especially fierce feud between 2 local Annie gangs, the Cloven and the Scales. As a goat boy bounds through the As goat boy bounds through the air, snake boy reacts. His arm surges forward, straightening their impossible long bodies and clamped onto the goat boy's thighs with their teeth. Snake boy then whips his arms back, using the snakes as levers to smash the goat boy into the pavement. Knowing goat boy won't be able to survive much more snake thrashing, you run to the scene and Hang back and contain the situation from a distance. In addition to your flight powers, you also have the ability to generate and wield surges of energy. What power set do you want to utilize here? Use the most efficient. Just send him up into the air where he cannot fly. Running at full speed, you jump forward and give yourself a boost with your flight powers. Rocketing like a bullet, you grab Snake Boy under his arms and lift him into the sky. Before he can get his bearings, you let go and send Snake Boy headlong into a nearby wall. With Snake Boy diverted, you turn your attention back to Goat Boy. He's already bounding up the street, bleeding curses as he flees, which is just as well. Your only goal here was to stop the teens from killing each other, since getting involved in technically an illegal act of vigilantism Before any powered individual can start a career as a professional hero, he or she must apply for a powered hero license. To lessen the number of applicants, the DRPR makes the process rather lengthy and expensive. You completed all the paperwork and passed the power competency test, but you've been saving up for a while to pay the hefty application fee. What the fuck? It ain't like you're going in there for a goddamn like washer dryer. I'm here for the fee. I don't know. I mean, we gotta go clean those tights, right? Just like whoosh. So with Goat Boy gone and Snake Boy neutralized, it's time to leave before you get into any unnecessary trouble. They were at it for almost 5 minutes and no one did a thing. You turn around to find a mother and her young daughter standing on the sidewalk, both looking relieved. The mother presses a tissue to the little girl's forehead against a small cut. They were blocking the door to our building, the mother says. We tried to run inside, but we got hit with some debris. These anti-gang fights have been getting so much worse lately anyway. Who do I have to thank for stopping them? Tell her who you are, the neighborhoods, you're watching over them, license or no license, stay anonymous. You don't do good deeds like this for attention, especially since it's not even legal. Well, I'm gonna tell her. I'm Habadibi Sterling, you say, shaking her hand, just doing my part to keep the neighborhood safe. Thank you, Habadibi, the mother says. Are you a real-life powered hero? The little girl whispers, gazing up at you. Oh, yes he is, the mother answers. Just get home safely, you say, as you continue toward home, not wanting to admit that you aren't a real hero. At least, not yet. When you walk into your apartment, you're hit with the familiar fragrance of flowers. Thanks to your grandma, who is also powered, her special name enables her to communicate with plants. So as far back as you can remember, grandma has filled your home with every kind of flower and foliage imaginable. Your apartment has always felt like a lush greenhouse, and you couldn't imagine any other way, because she wanted to be part of the Jurassic world. She wanted to be the one to tame those. She was not allowed in the middle. I can imagine now, get like that walking stick, and if she's like a Latino woman, you could give her like a chancla and like beat the crap out of those dinosaurs, and she'd just be like changa the entire time. Yeah. You drop your bag near the door and approach your favorite flower, Golda Rosnia Guna Metalia. I don't even know what that is, but I like it. Silver rose from a species with metallic foliage that grandma spent years breeding. You lean in and get a whiff of the rose, which almost smells faintly of caramel. Another one of grandma's unique touches. I'm afraid Gun Metalia has been especially cross with me today, grandma says, entering the living room. I had to de-thorn her this morning, and now she feels particularly vulnerable. You know how roses get about their thorns. Such a sore point. Ha, the puns. Well, tell Gunit Metalia I think she's still a stunner. Thorns or no thorns, you say, approaching grandma. You know grandma better than anyone else, so you describe her style as practical. Grandma most cares about tending her plants. She wears overalls with gardening tools in the pockets and keeps her hair tied back at all times. You kiss her alone, then step back and point to the new video game you brought home. Another whopping virtuous reality deposit to add to the pot. Every little bit helps, you know that, grandma says. Now, if only I could teach one of these little darlings to start growing money for leaves. If anyone could do it, it's you, Grant, you say, walking towards the kitchen. What are we having for dinner? I'm starving. But you stop short as you see the feast laid out on the kitchen table. It appears grandma has cooked your favorite meal. Happy birthday, she says with a grin, hugging your side. It's my birthday? I turned 22 already? Oh, yay. You finally push your plate away, your stomach uncomfortably full. You love Grandma's cooking, but it's usually pretty heavy. All meat, bread, and pasta, since vegetables tend to scream at Grandma when she tries to eat them. Well then, now that you've eaten a proper meal, I can finally get you your present, Grandma says, turning to a shelf above the table where several potted plants sit. The leafy vines hang down across the wall and create a lush green curtain. Guadalupe, would you please? At Grandma's request, the nearest vines swing towards you, an envelope nestled between its lowest leaves. Go ahead, take it, Grandma practically squeals. I can't wait any longer. Knowing it be useless to object, you open the envelope, which is made of silk fabric, never paper, and pull out a card made entirely of dried rose petals. Grandma never lets anything go to waste, especially not the remains of her best friend. While this rolled card is especially lovely, you're really stunned by what's inside. I said practical. What part of silk fabric over paper and that's not practical. A brand new issued Powered Hero license. Ooh. You read the license, double-checking the information listed really belongs to you. Department for the Regulation of Powered Resources, Hero License, name Habadibi, Sterling Male. I am single, orientation since the 21st century, political disputes regarding sexual orientation and marriage. The government has required all citizens to orientation along with their marital status. You think it's a bit of invasion of privacy, it's required you fielding. So you answer that you are attracted to women. Maybe I could do both. I am currently this year. I guess that's an acceptable thing to do. No, it's not me. So I'm going to have to go with women. No offense. Next, your code name is... Oh, I got a code name, alright. I got a code name. Give it to me. Dunce. There we go. If you're ever in trouble, call the dunce. He'll fix it. You stare down in disbelief at the license. Grandma has just given you the best birthday present ever. How? You start to ask, not sure where to begin. Someone just needed to pay the outstanding bill on your application, Grandma says, beaming. But, Gran, this is too much. We can't possibly afford... Hush, Grandma says, crossing her arms. I have to spend all that extra potpourri money on something useful, didn't I? Grandma smiles at you and then looks at the tree in the corner of the kitchen. She nods right on cue, and the tree begins to shake, letting loose a shower of sparkling seeds. Grandma only has that old tree shake shimmers on the most special of occasions. Thank you, Gran. It's all you can manage. It's only what you deserve, Habadibi, Grandma says, leaning back to her chair and stroking the shimmer tree. Besides, it's what your parents would have wanted. Next chapter. How am I doing on stats? Fame, justice, lawless, lawful, offensive, defensive, soloist, team player. I'm 50-50 there. I have a little bit of money. Family, 90. Unknown. Ooh, I'm doing good on family though. That's good. Chapter 2. Once upon a time. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna call that quits. Chapter 1 was done. Chapter 2 will be the next episode. Thank you.
I'm off to save the world like I'm some kind of Batman.